Hi everyone, this is Amy from Alpha Advisors. 皆さん、こんにちは。アルファアドバイザーズの坂下です。今日は、USCPA の単位の取得で、そこから、USCPA を合格して外資系のキャリアを狙っていくという、最強ルートについてお話ししていきたいと思います。アルファアドバイザーズでは今まで15年間社会人の方のキャリアアップのサポート、あとは学生の方の就職活動とか、最近だと就職をする前に海外の大学院に進学をする方も多いんですけれども、皆さんのキャリアをサポートしてきました。でキャリアアップっていうと、この USCPA というのを考えたりとか、聞いたことがある方も多いと思います。米国の公認会計士ですね。で、日本の公認会計士よりも、社会人になってから取る方も多いと思いますし、アルファでも今まで USCPA の取得の勉強のサポートとかね、あとワイリーっていう、今、ワイリー U ワールドという名前になってますけれども、USCPA の兄弟の会社さんと一緒にやらせていただいて、アルファのメンバーの方ね、半額でなんと買えるということをやっていたりしました。ただ、この USCPA は受験だとはもちろんライセンス取得はさらに単位が必要なんですけれども、受験のためにCPA、会計の単位が必要になってくるんですよね。なので、大学で全然会計やってなかった方とか、会計バックグラウンドがない方が受験をするときには、結構今だったら日本でね、予備校で単位を取ったりとか、何かしらの方法で皆さん、結構お金を払って単位を取って受けているという方も結構いると思います。で、これアルファでは他の動画で USCPA の真実みたいなお話をしたんですけれども、実はこの最強ルートとしてそこでお話ししたのが、今回お話しするような海外の大学院のオンラインの会計プログラムで単位を取るという方法なんですね。でしかも今日来ていただいたこのイリノイ大学というのは、会計分野で世界最高峰なんですね。会計といえばイリノイっていうぐらい、もちろん MBA とか他のビジネススクールのマスターもあるんですけど、とにかく会計分野でもいつもねトップ1、2に入っている素晴らしい学校なんです。なので、今日とても私も興奮しているというか、すごく楽しみなんですけど、今回ね、イリノイ大学の、ビジネススクールの方が世界で初めてこうね、アルファで YouTube で皆さんに学校の説明をしてくれるということで、一緒にやっていきたいと思います。で、USCPA だけね、取っても、他の動画でこれまた見ていただければと思いますし、またフォローアップの動画やろうと思っているんですけれども、USCPA だけ取っても、すぐにじゃあキャリアアップできるかっていうと、どうしても、監査法人とかにはね、行けたりしますけれども、キャリアアップの幅も狭いので、アルファで言っているのは、やっぱり MBA とダブルで取っていくということですね。でしかも、これ MBA を受ける前に、まず USCPA の勉強を始めると。そうすると、それレジュメにも書けたりもしますし、細かいスケジューリングとかね、戦略はぜひ個別に聞いていただければいいんですが、とにかく MBA と USCPA のダブルで最強ビジネス人材になっていくことができます。専門性がないなとか、いや、もっとグローバルにキャリアアップしたいんだけどなと思っている方、多分ね、この動画見ていただいている方多いと思いますが、ぜひ、私もね、今ちょうど簿記とかをやって、次に USCPA にこれからね、どんどん移っていくところではあるんですけど、皆さんで USCPA と MBA、2つダブルで取って最強キャリアにしていきましょうということですね。はい。で、アルファでは、この大学院、あとは転職のところもたくさんサポートしてますけれども、今日はね、USCPA のところで、ぜひ、皆さんに、このイリノイ大学の非常に素晴らしい、もう非常にね、リジッドなコースなんですけれども、一緒に見ていきたいと思います。で、また、この説明の中で皆さんからのご質問も受け付けますし、ちょっと私もね、補足でいろいろご質問とかはしたいと思いますが、まず USCPA を受験するときには、州によってアメリカの州ごとにリクワイアメントが要件が異なるんですよね。で例えばアラスカ州だったら、受験のための単位っていうところで言うと、15単位でよくて、しかもそんなにね、タックスでこれを取んなきゃいけないとかっていう細かい規定がないので、多分一番取りやすいのがアラスカ州で15単位。そうするとですね、このイリノイ大学の会計のサーティフィケートとか、一部のコースを取って受験単位を満たすことができるんですね。で、しかもこれ、イリノイ大学のコース、非常にね、今日素晴らしいアドミッションの方にご説明をしていただきますが、 やっぱりアメリカの大学院で、オンラインではあるんですけど、ライブの授業で、英語で海外の人たちと一緒に学ぶんですよ。これが皆さんのキャリアアップにとっては、まずは第一ステップ、英語で海外の人たちと、しかもイリノイという非常にもう名前、ブランドもある学校で学ぶっていうことは、やっぱりキャリアにとってものすごくプラスになります。もうそのあたりのね、やっぱり予備校で、なんか単位取ってもですね、皆さんの英語のレジュメに書いても、海外の人からすると、なんだこれはっていうふうにね、USCP は取られたとしても、その前段階のところも、ぜひ、イリノイであればアピールにも使えますし、ちょっとそういう視点でね、今日は見ていただければと思います。であとは、今日はこうアカウンティングのマスター全体のお話っていうのもメインでしていただくんですけど、アルファのメンバーの方は、アプリケーションフィー、受験料をね、ずっと無料で受けられるようにしてもらうことができましたので、皆さんね、もうリスクフリーですし、ぜひどんどん挑戦してほしいと思います。で、一応このマスターの受験の時には、レジュメとかエッセイとか、結構ね、準備するものもありますので、まずは個別にアルファに無料相談をいただいて、で、そこでどういうマスターを取るのか、そのね、サティフィケートプログラムで取って USCPA 受けるのかとか、じゃあ MBA はいつ取るのかとか、そういうスケジューリングもぜひご相談いただければと思います。ご相談は無料相談までいつでも入れていただければと思います。そこで USCPA を取って皆さんのキャリアにどう生かしていくのかっていうのをまず決めてから一緒に始めていきましょう。はい。ということで、ここからはアドミッションの方に学校の説明していただこうと思います。Kate, thank you for your time today. I'm very excited to have you here today. And please start your presentation.
Thank you, Emmy. I am going to just share my screen real quick. Can you see that okay?
Yes, it's perfect.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Kate Deering. I am an assistant director in recruitment and admissions for Geese Online Programs in the Geese College of Business at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. It really is my pleasure to be here to share information about our online credentials that we offer in the accounting field, from taking one 4-credit accounting course to maybe a graduate certificate to applying to a full master's degree. So we have a lot of options to talk about today. There is a QR code on the screen currently. If you want to hear from one of our admission counselors in the next few days and have a conversation with them, you can go ahead and scan that QR code and fill out a short form, and we're happy to reach out to you. Here's our agenda today. I do want to give you an overview of the University of Illinois as well as the Geese College of Business. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Geese Business Online in general. And after that, we'll dive much deeper into our master's degree, the accounting graduate certificates, and give program overviews of both of those. And of course, we're going to cover the curriculum and content. We'll talk about the application process, and I'll give you some tips and tricks there. And then hopefully we'll have time at the end to take some questions. So first of all, just a little background on the University of Illinois. The U of I is in the central area of the state of Illinois in the United States. It's a very highly esteemed university. It's a large school with approximately 35,000 undergraduate students and 20,000 graduate students. This slide is really just a quick glimpse into just a few of the amazing things that the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign is known for. It was founded in 1867 as one of the original public land-grant institutions created after President Lincoln signed the Morrill Act in 1862. If you don't know what that means, this means that the government reserved a chunk of land for the creation of the university that should aim to provide agricultural, scientific, military, and technical education to people in the state of Illinois, no matter what their background or their socioeconomic level is. We have really taken this to heart in the Geese College of Business and expanded access to bring learning globally. And that's part of the reason that I'm here today. So 29 Pulitzer Prize winners have come out of the University of Illinois Illinois. It's the number 12 ranked public university. We have a huge library system that you would have access to. $642 million, $731 million in research and development expenditures. Rated number 1 as the most disability-friendly U.S. campus. And then most importantly, you have the backing of 500,000 living alumni as one of the largest alumni organizations. So if you decide to enroll in one of our credentials, you do have that alumni backing as well as the resources of the University of Illinois behind you. It's a very well-respected brand that you will be very proud to be part of. Today, we're going to talk about our online business credentials, and these are housed within the Gies College of Business. Gies is one of 16 colleges that is in the broader University of Illinois. So just kind of want to give you a little perspective there. Gies has been recognized consistently being one of the, being a top 10 public undergraduate business school in the nation, as well as having the number 3 accountancy faculty in the US, which is really important as we discuss all of our accounting options here today. It was also named the number 1 business school innovation of the decade. We did have the MBA program of the year that was announced recently out of all programs, including online and residential. So that was quite an honor. And then we also have 79,000 plus Gies business specific alumni that would be a network available to you once you graduate. So we are going to definitely talk about all of the ways that you'll be able to network as well as a student in one of our programs. But today, we are here to talk about the graduate level credentials that we offer. We do offer 3 master's degrees in business administration, accounting, and then management. Today, we are going to focus on the Master's of Accounting and then also the accounting graduate certificates. But I did want to just briefly introduce you to kind of the foundational pillars upon what we built Gies Business and how we built that and what makes up our courses and how we deliver information. And those are flexibility, stackability, and then also online by design. Our programs were designed to be flexible in access, in degree planning, in your tuition payments, and in so many other ways. You will hear the word flexibility and flexible come up whenever you talk to anybody on my team, as well as a lot of our students. They really are passionate about the flexibility that we offer in our education. We created this online environment where we can provide this accessible education to working professionals so that you don't have to stop your job, your family commitments, or any of your extracurricular activities. The way we do that is our courses are scheduled to accommodate the schedules of working professionals. We allow for our live sessions to be hosted during the week at multiple different times. So if you're in Japan, if you're taking one course, for instance, we would have 3 different times throughout the day that live session would be offered, and you just have to attend one of those. It's the same live session each time. And then we also have the recording for you to access if you can't make one of those actual live sessions. And then typically your collaborative group meetings and group projects will be worked on the weekends, and assignment submissions would be due earlier the following week. So very flexible as far as working in the classes and the work. Flexibility does extend to your degree planning as well, and the number of courses that you take or the pace that you progress through the program. So we've structured it in a way that you can take 1 or 2 courses each 8-week term, and then you can change that as you move throughout the program. So we're very flexible in that. We know that things come up in your life. You might be busy. Maybe you have a large work project that you need to just pause your education. Like, that's totally fine with us. You would just work with our advising team to make sure, that we're aware of your situation. Courses, for the most part, can be taken in the order that you choose. There are a few caveats to that, especially in the accounting, that you need to take them in a little bit of a specific order, but pretty flexible as far as structuring your degree plan. And then additionally, our tuition, the way that we bill tuition is very flexible. We utilize a pay-as-you-go tuition model where you only pay for the courses that you are registered for. So as you move throughout the program, you're paying for those courses very slowly as you move throughout the program. There's not a lump sum requirement or lump sum payment requirement. Secondly, stackability. Okay, so you're going to hear us talk about stackable credentials today. Stackability at Geese is very important to us because we're dedicated to ensuring that learning is really accessible to everyone, regardless of where you're at in your learner journey. So we pride ourselves on how we structured these specific building block credential options. So they're kind of tailored to every stage of your educational journey. And that's my job to help you figure out what your access point is and where you should come in and start your learning based on the time that you have or where you're at in your professional career, things like that. So the nice thing is, wherever you start, you can stack that into the next credential of learning and continue to build all the way up to a full master's degree. So we're going to definitely cover those options today, but you could start with taking just one course, one 4-credit-hour course, which is a great way to start. Feel out the program, see if you like how we do things here, learn a little bit, and then from there, maybe you love that course, you could stack that into a graduate certificate, and from there you could stack that grad cert into a full master's degree. And so we're gonna dive deeper into that here in the next slide. Excuse me. Finally, our programs are online by design. And by that, I mean, we've deliberately designed our credentials to cater to thousands of learners worldwide, allowing you to participate from the comfort of your own home or anywhere else without sacrificing that interaction and that collaboration that you will have with your peers in the program. This is a very learner-centric approach, which you'll see is central to our mission because we want to ensure that you benefit from a diverse global population of learners. Like that's why we're here today. And you'll be supported by amazing faculty. You are going to tackle real-world problems and projects collaboratively in group work where you're going to meet students from all over the world. So just know it's going to be a very enriching, learning experience, and it's going to definitely prepare you for success in your chosen field. So as I mentioned, stackability on the last slide, this is just an overview, and I don't want to get too into the weeds with all of these options, but this is all of the different access points that you have to enter the Geese learner journey. You can start anywhere in any of these and immediately start impacting your career, which is really nice. I did share with Emmy a link to our access points. So if you want to go to that page, it does link out or it does list out pretty specifically, starting in that first little cube, which would be starting on Coursera and taking a Coursera MOOC. And we'll talk about that here a little bit more in a little bit, but that is the foundational material, kind of like your virtual textbook of all of our courses. So you could start there. That is non-transcript binding, but you can stack that for completion credit into a full credit course, or if you take one class, that would represent the second cube on this slide. Stack that into a graduate certificate, which is that next slide. And we'll talk about that here very quickly. A graduate certificate is 12 credit hours that also can stack into a full master's degree. So you could essentially have 3 courses or 12 credit hours done towards your full master's degree if you go that route. So a lot of options here. I'm not going to get too deep into those since you guys have the link. If you have specific questions about that, we can definitely cover that here in a little bit. But like I said, if you're not quite ready for a full master's degree, you could start with a graduate certificate. So we're going to talk about the 4 accounting graduate certificates that we offer. As you can see, we offer 13. So 4 of those are pretty specific accounting graduate certificates, which is an excellent place to start if you don't feel like you're quite ready for the full master's degree, or maybe you just want to specialize, get a foundation in accounting first before you jump into that full degree. One note, this option, actually, we have a deadline if you're interested in starting in the August term. Our full IMSA master's degree application is closed at this time for the fall, but if you are interested in a graduate certificate or taking one course as a non-degree student, that deadline is July 18th, which is coming up pretty quickly next week. So I just want to note that you have plenty of time to apply in the next week. And it's a brief application process for a graduate certificate or taking just one non-degree course. And we can flesh that out here in a little bit as well. So here are the 4 options of accounting graduate certificates. And the key thing is, wherever you're at in your career, you should be able to find one of these that works for you. We have just a wide breadth of the options. For those with no accounting experience or very minimal accounting or finance experience, the Accounting Foundation certificate would provide you with just a background in the principles, the concepts, and the methods that govern professional accounting. If you're already in the field and you want to just strengthen those skills, the taxation certificate might be right for you. In that program, you'll learn about the U.S. federal tax system, which I understand a lot of you may be thinking about a career in, possibly coming over into the United States. For those of you looking to strengthen your technical skills, the Accounting Data Analytics certificate would help you develop really standout data analytics capabilities, and then also perform at the leading edge of that fast changing kind of accounting field. And then finally, if you're ready to take the step to sit for the uniform CPA examination, you can complete the CPA Pathways certificate, which will really help you build the specialized knowledge and skills to become a licensed CPA in the US. That CPA Pathways graduate certificate is most relevant to learners with a very, very strong background in accounting. So we'll take a look at that. And those students usually have already earned an undergraduate degree in accounting. And if you don't have that, we would have you kind of reach out to one of our advisors and talk about the options there before applying to that certificate. This slide provides just a pretty quick overview of each certificate. So I'm not going to get too deep into this, but each of our accounting graduate certificates does require 12 credit hours. And again, all 12 credit hours would stack into the master's degree. So the IMSA degree is 32 credit hours. So you could have 12 of those done in a graduate certificate. Also really nice because you could have just an immediate credential that you can take back to your employer and say, hey, I'm really working on my accounting skills. I just completed this graduate certificate from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and you would have a diploma. You'll have the transcript credit with the university to be able to really show your employer that progress. Your start date and your progress through the certificate will vary. You are in charge, again, of how fast you move throughout the certificate. These courses are offered at certain terms, and so you'll have to fit that in. Your program fees will be paid as you go, as I mentioned, and will vary based on the program and the electives that you choose. So you do have some choices within the grad certs as well. And then all of them really can be completed just over 10K. So really attainable, but just a great way that you can immediately impact your career with this small graduate certificate. So this kind of lays out the options as far as the requirements for these graduate certificates. And we kind of touched on this, so I'm probably going to kind of breeze through this slide. But your first option, which hopefully will be most applicable, is the Accounting Foundation certificate, which is there is no course prerequisites for entry into this program. As I said, it is designed for learners with little to no experience in accounting or finance. So it's going to provide you with a really great foundation. If you do have specialized knowledge of accounting, then maybe the data analytics graduate certificate would be better for you. And if you have that full accounting background, again, the CPA exam and wanting to sit for that exam, then the CPA Pathways would be right for you. Moving on to the Masters of Accounting, which again, all of those graduate certificates, the 4, would stack directly into this IMSA or Master of Science in Accountancy. So you could have 12 credit hours done once you apply to this program. But the IMSA is going to build expertise in the fundamentals of accounting, which are going to be financial reporting, audit and control, U.S. federal taxation. A common question is, what type of students do we have in the IMSA? many, many different backgrounds. We have very experienced mid-level professionals, that are looking to maybe move into the C-suite, kind of transition to a new company. And then we have learners who are just starting new careers and pivoting to enter the accounting field, and they don't have any experience. This degree will give you that foundation that you need to start or enhance your accounting career. So it's a really versatile degree. It comes in at just 21 to 27.2 thousand US dollars, and you will take anywhere from 18 to 36 months to complete this master's degree. The grad college does have a maximum of 5 years, so you would need to make sure that you complete the degree within that 5-year timeline. But remember, you will be designing your degree plan to fit your schedule and your needs, because we're very flexible, and you're going to take 1 or 2 courses each 8-week term. And so you are going to be able to plan your time to completion. You will be able to know ahead of time and kind of tweak that plan as you go. If your life changes a bit, or you just need to make adjustments there. So really flexible as far as that goes. We do have 3 start dates, so January, May, and then August. So as I said, applications are closed for August, but the other 2 options are either apply for a graduate certificate to start in August by next week, July 18th, take a non-degree course with the same deadline, or apply for a spring start and start your IMSA in January of 2025. That deadline is coming up on October 3rd, and we'll have a full screen of the benefits of applying early for that degree or that term here at the end of the presentation. So the IMSA by the numbers, this is going to give you a little bit of an idea of the class profile, because it's nice to know who you will be joining in this degree. The average age is 36 years old with 10 years of work experience. We don't have a work experience requirement to apply to the IMSA, but it's kind of interesting that is the average number of years of work experience included. So very, knowledgeable professional group that is in this program. 47 US states are represented, as are 36 countries. So you are going to be in classes with learners from all over the world, like yourselves. And that really does help to create diverse learning environments. I want you to know, like your group discussions, you're really going to be taking others' educational backgrounds and professional experience from all over the world into these group projects and how you're working through those projects and problems. So it really makes a great learning environment. Another, slide just as far as the numbers go. I know Emmy shared that some of you aim to become CPAs, but most of you want to use the CPA for higher degrees like the MBA or a career in finance or moving into a larger corporation. Earning a degree in accounting with Geese will put you in a great spot to impact your career as well as your life. We do survey our graduates and ask them some very important questions about satisfaction and return on investment, which, if I was looking at programs, that's definitely something that I would want to consider and learn more about. But that's a very large factor in exploring programs. The IMSA does have a 96% satisfaction rate, and 76% of our students received a promotion, job offer, or accepted a new position during the IMSA program. So that statistic alone is pretty significant. They also experience a significant pay increase of 22% while they're in the program. So these are amazing statistics, especially when it comes to thinking, am I going to earn that tuition back? How long is it going to take me to earn a promotion, to be able to make sure that I was provided value and knowledge, that immediately will impact your bottom line. So this return on investment data is really important to know. So I would love to dive a little bit deeper into the curriculum and content. Now, we're not going to get too deep, but I do want to give you an overview. Applicants must have a minimum academic background in business. In general, we expect applicants to have completed a course in business management along with 1 or 2 course sequence in the principles of accounting. So that's our prerequisites. You do need to have those complete. from either like your undergrad, or you can have a certificate of completion from a known online course provider like Coursera. So we do have some options on Coursera if you don't have those prerequisite courses done that you can take to fulfill this requirement. Those would be on the Coursera platform. There's 3 for financial accounting and 1 for business management. So don't get nervous if you don't have those 2 prerequisites. You can complete those in a short time on Coursera, and that would satisfy that requirement. But the 2 boxes there represent the curriculum. So you will take 8 courses essentially as an IMSA student. 20 of those those credit hours will be the core curriculum that you see in the left-hand side. So that's going to be 5 courses: accounting analysis 1 and 2, managerial accounting, auditing, and then also federal taxation. And then you have an elective choice, which is really nice. So 12 of your hours will be elective choices that you can either focus in a few of the or one of the areas that you see on in the right-hand side. And also, though, note that you do need to take at least 1 non-accounting elective, within those 3 elective choices. So a nice way to kind of cater your degree to something that you're interested in those elective choices, which is nice. We do have a lot of elective choices, so you can, concentrate in one of those areas or choose from a long list of options. And then lastly, if you are interested in continuing your journey to earn an MBA, you're able to stack that full IMSA degree, those 32 credit hours, and stack that into the MBA program, which is really nice. So you would complete the IMSA program first, and then you would apply and continue, if admitted, and complete the MBA program and then earn your second master's degree. So another great stackable option. Just one note, common question that we do get is, will there be an I, or will it say online on my diploma or certificate of degree or my transcripts? And the answer is no. The reason we have that I is that originally when we created the IMBA, we did still have a residential program. And so we needed a way to distinguish between the 2 programs. And so we created that program and used that to differentiate. And then as we continue to create our other master's degrees, the IMSA and the IMSM, we just continued that process. But it will not be noted on your transcript or your degree certificate. You will earn a full recognized diploma from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. So what sets us apart from many other programs is how we deliver our information. We put a lot of thought and innovation into how we're gonna share the content and how you're gonna learn in this program. And the way we've done that is through 2 components. There is an asynchronous component, and then there's a high engagement component. So let's talk about the asynchronous component first. This is housed on the Coursera platform. So I know we've mentioned the Coursera a little bit here today. That is a large educational platform that offers non-credit bearing MOOCs, or massive open online courses. And through completing those, you do earn digital certificates. The content of those is pre-recorded videos from our faculty members. So you'll have, your professors on there. You'll be watching those videos. You're going to have self-assessed quizzes. You'll have some reading assignments, and then there is a little bit of a peer evaluation component as well. So we like to think of this asynchronous component as the foundational material in our courses. So every 4 credit hour course in the IMSA or our graduate certificates will have 2 of these MOOCs included. Actually 4 for the IMSA courses. So as you move throughout your course, you'll have a module that corresponds to each week of that 8-week term. In addition to that is the high engagement component. So this is going to be housed on the Canvas platform. So those are the 2 main platforms that we use here at Geese. And the high engagement component is going to build upon that foundational material that you've already gone through in the MOOCs. that is going to be pulled through, that knowledge will be pulled through one 90-minute live lecture each week that you'll have in front of your professor, just kind of like we are here today. You will have an engaging discussion. You'll have breakout sessions where you might be working through a case study or a question from your professor during that time. They're very interactive and collaborative. Outside of those live sessions each week, so one 8-week term, we'll have 8 live sessions. Then you will have group projects where you're put into a group with 4 to 5 other students, and you're going to be working through whatever the projects are that your professor assigns. In addition to that, you're going to have individual assignments, tests, and then there's also faculty office hours, which are a big part of our program to join and spend some time with your professor to clarify any information, any questions that you have. Other students join up. It's really nice to be able to listen to others' perspectives and where they're kind of struggling. Oftentimes they're just a fun atmosphere to get to know people as well. So those 2 components, that's really how we deliver our information. So, I guess this next slide kind of talks a little bit to really our faculty as well. I just want to touch on the faculty that are really at the heart of our programs. We have over 74 faculty members who teach in online programs, and they have so many years of work experience as working professionals at companies, as well as being tenured professors. In addition to, the faculty, there's so much support as well. So I want you to know that there's a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into putting on these live sessions and presenting the curriculum to our students. They have the support of 250 TAs or teaching assistants that help within your courses. On our side, we have 55 plus GEAS staff members that work in teaching and learning that put so much work into the content and the delivery of the course curriculum. So just know that, there is so much behind the scenes work that goes into creating the degree and as well as our credentials that we offer. From a technical standpoint, I think some of these statistics or facts, I guess, are kind of interesting in that we complete around 40 live sessions each week. And we have over 19,000 videos that have been created to date that we use in those MOOCs. And so they create these videos in 6 state-of-the-art studios here in our business instructional facility on campus. And then we also are currently in the process of building a new Stephen Wyman Hall building, which is going to be our another main business facility that we'll have that has 7 additional state-of-the-art studios that they'll be able to access as well. So these are really cool studios, and it's a very high quality experience that you'll have in these live sessions. Okay, networking. A common question that I get is, how do you network in this virtual environment? And the answer is there's so many ways. And this actually, if you ever end up talking to a current student in our program, which I highly recommend, we can pair you up to talk with one of our ambassadors to maybe even someone who attends our programs from Japan. And just so you can get their perspective, I'm happy to share that link with you all as well if you're interested in that. But when you talk to them, make sure you ask them how they network in the program, because everybody does it differently, but there's many options. We as a GEAS staff and program host iConnects, we host immersions, and we also have iConverge, which is an annual fall event where we invite all of our online students to campus, as well as our alumni, for 3 days of professional development, typically in September or October. And we bring in fabulous speakers. Larry Geese has been at this event. Usually our dean gives a great talk. Lots of networking, chances to meet your faculty in person, and a lot of fun. We even go to a Illinois football game and tailgate with the group as well. Immersions are project-based trips that you can apply to go on domestically or internationally, and even virtually. During COVID, we created some virtual immersions, which are actually still really great. On these, you work with 30 to 50 other students on a business problem hosted by that company. And so you'll travel to the location, you'll meet with various stakeholders in the community, as well as participate in a lot of cultural events while you're there, and obviously a lot of learning. These are just a really great way to network and also pull through everything that you've learned and put it into practice. iConnects are meetups where we invite all of our online students to mingle and have fun, typically in larger cities, but we do these domestically and internationally. On the student side, so our students love to network. They connect just in your classes through your group projects. And then you'll also have access to Workplace, which is a social media group just for our students. They share so many ideas on there. They help each other with their resumes. They share industry tips. They connect people with specific companies. And they just have a lot of fun and really just help each other through their program. Just a couple other things that you can do. We have our students actually organically create their own meetups wherever they live. This happens domestically and internationally. We actually just went, we had a big group get together in Singapore. It just happens all over. And again, our students just do this themselves. They put it out there and create a group near their own location. And then we have the ambassador program. We also have a IGBA, which is an Illinois Graduate Business Association, which essentially is kind of like a student council that you can get involved with. Know that you have a full academic advising team. So we're not going to just throw you into the program and make you figure it all out on your own. They are there to help you with degree requirements, degree planning. They have many ways to get involved or access them through open office hours, appointments, and as well as email support. So just know that you have support while you're in the program. Okay, application requirements. So I did want to touch on this. Now, I just want you to let you know, all of this is on our website. We also can have a conversation if you have any specific questions on any of these things, but we do require a simple resume in order to apply to the program. Just looking for business experience as well as your education on there. So pretty simple resume. And then to be eligible for GEES credentials, you'll need a bachelor's degree. So we do require that. For the application, you will need unofficial transcripts. So you can upload a picture or a scanned copy of those. This is a pretty simple, like whatever you have, we just need to see the mark sheets from each semester or each term that you completed, as well as this certificate of degree or diploma. So we do need both of those. And then also, if your degree was not delivered in English, we'll need an official English translation as well. I did share with Emmy our official requirements for according to Japan, and it will give you some options as far as translation, like companies that will help you on that as well. We do have one main academic statement that's around, I believe it's 500 word requirement. And then there's 2 short answer required personal statements. There's also, in addition to that, two other statements where you can share additional concerns about your application, or maybe you want to highlight something that was not in your application. That's your chance to do that there. Try not to get stressed about the academic statement. This is a place that we really just want to learn a little bit more about you, understand your why and why you're pursuing this degree, and what do you think that it is going to do for you? How is this going to help you advance your career? Those are kind of the things that we're looking for. 2 recommendations are required. I want you to know that this is not something to make you nervous or stress. We don't want you to stress about this. This is a very simple process. All you need for your application is the name and email of your recommender. Okay, so as soon as you type those into your application, we're actually going to send them an email with a very short form. It has 8 to 10 questions where they will strongly agree to strongly disagree. And then there's a couple of short answer paragraph forms that they fill out. It is not a huge time commitment. Okay, so you can just let your recommender know, maybe share your resume with them so they have some background, but just let them know this is not going to be a big time commitment. It should take no more than 15-20 minutes for this person to complete this. So try not to let that stress you out. You do need the name and email though in order to submit your application. It will not allow you to submit without those two names. Jumping to English proficiency. So we do require English proficiency for a test for international students. So like Japan, you would be required to submit either a TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo score. And I did share these with Emmy as well. We have a great website that walks you through the options there. Please reach out to us. It's not meant to be complicated. There's a lot of options there, and we can walk through those with you if you have trouble getting the test or you just need some assistance in that area. No G or GMAT are required. And then I know scholarships are often a big question. At the Geese College of Business, we are committed to breaking down these barriers, and we really want to make this education affordable, accessible to as many learners as possible. So as part of that commitment, we are proud to offer a scholarship in partnership with Coursera. It covers 70% of the tuition. Very competitive, though, pretty small amount that are awarded, but these scholarships are really focused in on making our programs more accessible and being able to impact our global community of students. So the prompt is within the application, and if you're interested in the scholarship, you will need to apply by that October 3rd deadline. So you have to submit your scholarship with your application at that time. We won't accept them after that. And then lastly, our performance-based admissions track. So if you have, we do have a requirement of a 3.0 GPA in order to be eligible for the program. If you don't quite meet that, that's okay. That's what the performance-based admissions track is for. We realize that, you know, sometimes there's a challenge when you're in your undergrad, and maybe you kind of miss that 3.0 by a little bit. What the PAT track does is it allows a little leeway there. So if you apply that way, you would be admitted to, if admitted, you would be entered into the non-degree course path. You would take 2 courses as a non-degree student. If you earn a B or better in the 2 of those courses, then we automatically admit you into the degree program. So you'll go through the same application process, but we do reserve this option for, you know, students that we really think are going to be successful, but maybe they don't quite meet that minimum GPA. There's also another option. Maybe you just want to outright apply to this path because you want to try out the program. You want to kind of feel the academic rigor. This is another great option if that's you. So those are all the application requirements. I'm assuming we'll have questions after if I missed anything there. Review process, we give us 2 to 3 weeks after you submit your application. At that time, we will email you back either a decision or maybe you're missing something in your application, so you would hear from us then, or we'll invite you to do a short video essay for the IMSA program. We don't have interviews for the graduate certificates, so you would just hear, you know, a decision, or if you're missing something, we would reach out for a grad cert. So pretty quick. We actually probably work even faster than the 2 to 3 weeks, but pretty quick turnaround, and we're happy to help if you have any questions during that time. So here we're kind of wrapping up here. This is the spring deadlines, as I mentioned. So if you're interested in applying to the IMSA program for a January start, you would apply by October 3rd for maximum benefits. So that means no application fee. You could start working, accessing workplace that I mentioned, and start mingling with your fellow students. You could start actually working on the MOOC content on Coursera that's included in your courses. So that's a huge benefit. If you're interested in the scholarship, this is the deadline to apply by. And then you'll also be able to register for your first course, you know, pretty early if you apply by this deadline. If you're interested in that, but you want to get started now in August, if you apply for a graduate certificate or a non-degree course, the deadline is July 18th, and we could get that turned around, and you actually could start taking a course in August if you're interested in that. So a lot of options there. We want you to know that you, again, there's lots of access points, and we have 5 terms throughout the year, and there's a place for you to start, I guess, is my point, whether it's now or, you know, coming up in the future. So, but really, as a recap, you know I just shared a lot of information with you. We know that you have a lot of choices when it comes to online education. You're going to be seeing these popping up. There's a lot of options. The University of Illinois does offer just such a high quality, reputable degree with a really large network to get to know and really utilize in your professional growth. So I think that's just, you know, first and foremost, know that. We talked today about the flexibility of our credentials and being key to, you know, how you're structuring your degree plan, your timeline. It's really flexible. And also just in general, the opportunity to continue working in your full-time job while you're earning this degree is pretty amazing. So the way that we deliver our information is really intentional. And we talked about the innovative course structure as far as the Coursera component and the high engagement component. So hopefully you got a feel for what that's like. And then we talked about all of the different ways that you can network. So no, it's kind of a full package deal. You have this flexible degree, but you're not missing out on meeting people and making those relationships and creating that rapport with other people in your industry, or, just having people there that are going through something like this along with you. Because it is a big commitment, and we understand that it's a rigorous program, but you're going to be so fulfilled and satisfied after you earn your degree or your graduate certificate, because you're going to see along the way how much it is really helping you in your current role, and will continue to do that in the future. So we'd really love to have you join us. And if you're interested in reaching out, again, here's that QR code. Our email is on there, as well as our phone number. We have a full team of admission counselors to assist you there. So I'm going to pause here. I know I kind of moved pretty quickly through that. I know we didn't have a ton of time. So Emmy, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for a comprehensive and very clear explanation. It definitely fantastic program with high satisfaction rate and solid track record of career advancement, and also the salary increase you showed. And we have a lot of questions from audience, so let's move on to the Q&A session with the audience.
Sounds good.
And can you share your screen? Because without your screen, there is our face up to the YouTube. So can you keep?
You want me to share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. What slide would you like me to share?
For the curriculum section, I think.
Sure. Hold on one second. And what is the question while I'm finding that?
The first question is about like how to take the take balance of the credit certificate course and the master's course. So the question is, as you explain the step-by-step approach, the combination of credit course and also the master's courses. So let's say, is it possible for a student to at first enroll in a certificate course and sit for the CPA exam, then move on to a master's program after they got the CPA exam?
Sure. Yes, they could take a graduate certificate in the CPA pathways, as long as they are, they have a pretty solid foundation in accounting in order to be eligible for that graduate certificate. But yes, by all means, if you earn your number of credits that are, required for your CPA exam, and you feel confident to take that test, that's up to you. And you can always apply at a later time to enroll in the IMSA and bring those 12 credit hours if you've completed a graduate certificate along with you. So yes, that timing would work. We really leave it up to our students to determine if they're eligible to sit for the CPA exam in the United States. Every state has different requirements. So we don't really give advice in that area. You need to do that research yourself and make sure you're checking with the governing body that you're sitting for as far as that exam.
Okay, thank you. So the student can consult with some academic advisor or the kind of person what credit needed for them to take the CPA exam for each state.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. The next question is the school itself. So could you share more about the curriculum or the faculty that what makes your curriculum the very top tier program in these states?
Well, as I shared in that initial slide, as far as the Gies College of Business, our accounting faculty has been named the top 3 in the United States. So it's really hard to find better accounting faculty, and they've have really amazing experience that they're bringing to the table, whether it be in research or their their previous corporate experience, and then add on top being tenured professors. So just know that you're going to be taught by the best. And they really do pride themselves on keeping content, in curriculum very current. And, the case studies and the projects that you're talking about are always evolving and just real world scenarios so that you have that experience in working through those problems in order to learn from.
Thank you. So the student can expose themselves to the very real world case scenario and also the very solid business background and also like cutting edge knowledge and some.
Yeah. So you're going to learn the basics in the foundational material in that Coursera component. So you're going to go through that asynchronously by yourself. But you're going to have your professor in those videos and you're going to be learning the basics. Once you get into the high engagement component where you're working in your group projects and you're in front of your professor in those live sessions, that's where they're going to bring in a lot of different scenarios for you to problem solve and figure out what those solutions are and get together with your fellow students and talk through those case studies. That's where the pull through is, I guess. And where you're making it, you're learning how to tackle those real world scenarios.
Thank you. Yeah, so to say the balance between live and synchronous part sounds great. So it would be nice if the Japanese student can join the live session from Japan. And so what time the live session usually held?
Yeah, great question. So each professor will house or hold their course or their live session on a certain day of the week. So typically those are going to be held Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's some on Friday. And they'll either have 2 or 3 times during the day. So you could have an 11:30 a.m., a 5:45 p.m., and maybe a 8:45 p.m. or 8 p.m. class. And so I'm not sure the hour difference that you would have, but more than likely, since there's 3 times in the central time zone, you are going to have an option globally, because we do know that we have to accommodate students from all over the world, and that's our passion. There is an option for everybody to attend a live session that hopefully works somewhat with your schedule. Now, we realize it doesn't always translate perfectly. We do our best to make sure that we have a live session available for you. In the event that you can't make it, we do record those. So you could always watch the recording and be able to participate in that way. Now, obviously, you're going to get a little bit more out of attending a live session because that's where you're talking. Your professor, you could be in front of your professor just like this. You're going to be having those breakout sessions and having conversations and collaborating. So it is best to attend in the virtual setting, but we understand that, everybody just can't do that. And that goes along with the flexibility of the program. So it's okay to watch them all as a recording if you have to.
Thank you. Great. So let me use Japanese a little bit for clarification to audience. So, ライブセッションのね、ご質問があったんですけれども、ライブセッションはね、以前にカリキュラムの、シラバスみたいなのもね、見せていただいて、今、アドミッションの方も言ってたんですけど、結構フレキシブルな時間に設けてあるので、もちろんね、一日中、基本的にお仕事ずっと離れられない方もいると思うんですけど、まずは、ずっとライブを録画したものを見れたりもしますので、それはね、臨場感があって見れるっていうのと、あとはね、見せてもらったんですけど、結構ね、日本時間の朝とか、あと夜ですね。そういう時間に設けてあるので、がっつり稼働時間に関わらず、少しずらして勤務したりとか、在宅勤務とかできる方は、時々はね、結構ライブにも出れるんじゃないかなと思います。はい、ぜひ、細かいスケジュールとかまた聞いていただければと思います。So let's move on to the next question. So this is question about the what kind of courses is the best for this candidate. So I am an MBA graduate from UK, and I'm currently
my daughter goes to UK. Oh, from the UK, University of Kentucky. I'm sorry, I was thinking. Yeah,
and he is currently considering to take the CPA exams. However, I do not have enough accounting related credits. So what kind of course would you recommend? So he should the credit course or some kind of master's accounting?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend on what that's probably a better question for our advising team. I really work in the recruitment and admissions, and as far as breaking down specific courses, but if you feel like you will need to know how many credit hours that you need left in order to sit for that exam, and that's going to kind of put you into either a grad cert or a full IMSA degree. So if you need a comprehensive overview and just a very thorough foundation, you might go for the full master's degree. But if you find that you only need a certain area, like accounting data analytics, or you just need that foundational kind of 12 credit hours of knowledge, then you could go the graduate certificate route. But you can always reach out to us and we can flesh that out a little bit more.
Thank you. そうですね。で、次のご質問ですが、and so the student application requirements, is it only for a student with the bachelor degree? I mean, for example, let's say the student in the university, so during earning their degree, is eligible for this program?
Yeah, these are all graduate level credentials that do require a full bachelor's degree completion. So that's great. We, continue that work on your undergrad. If you're in your last semester and you know that you want to pursue a career in accounting, you could start preparing your materials. You could apply with your unofficial transcripts, like say you're almost graduating. We'll wait for your official diploma and your official degree to be completed, and you can apply ahead of time. We won't be able to issue an admission decision until we have that full credential, but you can begin work on that depending on when you're graduating. You can apply during that time, maybe your last term of your undergrad.
Thank you. So they can enter the program after their graduation.
After graduation, our graduate college will require the official transcript or diploma from their bachelor's degree. So that is required.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so after the question, this is I think last question for you is so could you share again about the start timing of the program, especially for online master's program? You have the two intake option. The first is January and also August, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, let me just pull that slide up so I can show that one more time. Do I have that on the slide? Maybe I don't. You can apply January, May, or August, and those look a little different. So if you start in January or August, those are our main start dates for the IMSA. And that's where you start at the beginning of the term, and it's a full 2 8-week terms in those semesters. Okay, so you would start in January, start taking your courses, or August. We do have an offering in May. But we don't have a lot of the core courses offered then. So we could admit you could apply to start in a May time frame. You would just be starting that's only an 8-week term during May. So the other two are 16 weeks because it's 2 8-week terms. The summer term is only 8 weeks. And so the majority of our core courses, they are all 16 weeks long. And that's why you can only start in those two terms, because you're going to take the August term is going to be your part A, and then you take your part B starting in October. So we don't have all of those offered in the summer because it's only 8 weeks. So you would have to start with a non-accounting course, or maybe one of our elective choices that is just 8 weeks in accounting. So it's just a little bit of a different start in May, but that is an option. Was that clear? I'm sorry. I know it's a little confusing.
The next nearest deadline at first is October 3rd. And if they apply for the October 3rd and got accepted, they can enroll in the program from January.
Correct. Yep, from January. Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, so the question is worried about they can only enroll in the fall term, but their spring term starts.
Yep, there's a spring and there's a summer in May, and then you can roll back into next fall. Again, though, if you are really interested in starting, I would recommend just taking one course. Take one of the core courses. You could start taking that and apply next week and register as a non-degree student and take one of your core courses in the IMSA. Once you're admitted to the IMSA at that later date, when you can apply for January, you would petition to just move that non-degree course over, and it would count towards your degree. You would have that done. So you're not really losing anything. If you're really interested in starting now, you can start as a non-degree student.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, so let me use a little bit Japanese.
Sure.
なのでですね、かなりイリノイのプログラムは、ユーザーフレンドリーというかね、よくできていて、オンラインのもちろん入学時期を待って、次だと直近が1月なんですよね。だからそこからもういきなりマスターで始めることもできますし、早めに他の、いわゆるコースだけをね、取るってことができるので、早めにコースだけを取り始めて、で、そこからアプリケーションもマスターの分をやって、で、マスターに入ったら、今まで取ったクレジットもそのマスターの中に組み入れられるっていうね。だからスタートしたい人はすぐ始められるし、で、それと同時にアプリケーションも進められるっていうことでね、それはとってもいいやり方だと思いますので、ぜひスケジューリングとかもご相談いただいて、あとね、どうその USCP を活かしていくのかっていうのもアルファでサポートしてますので、ぜひご相談ください。はい。あとは、ちょっと日本語で、これは多分私から簡単にお答えするとですね、どの州で、CPA のテストを受けるとか、そのためにどの、コースを取るのかっていうのは、ぜひご相談ください。皆さんの状況とかバックグラウンドとかによっても違うと思うので、はい。あと、出願も先ほどのスライドにありましたけれども、マスターの出願はね、やっぱりレジュメとかエッセイとか、結構、あとは、英語のテストですね。それはウェイバーもあるって書いてましたので、多分書きようによっては英語のテストを受けなくてもできると思いますので、ぜひ聞いてください。はい。ちょっとそのアプリケーションのところだけ最後にね、聞きたいと思います。So, the next question is the last question. Could you share with us again about the application process?
Sure. Let me just pull up that slide for you. But really, the application process is really simple. I don't want it to make anybody nervous. Let me just share this with you. Here's the application requirements again. You would create an application with our grad college on our platform and begin filling out your application. So you'll add in and upload just a simple resume. You'll upload a scanned copy or just even a picture of your unofficial transcripts from your bachelor's degree or any other degrees that you've earned. Know that once admitted, we do require official transcripts at a later time. So once you get started in your classes, the grad college will require official transcripts that need to be coming directly from your university, or they have other options there, but that happens later. For the application, you really just need a scanned copy or a picture of it. 2 letters of recommendation, your English proficiency, and that's really it. You'll answer some of those academic statements, and so if you fill that all out by the time, so by October 3rd, you would be and submit that by that deadline, you would be eligible for the IMSA program. Will take 2 to 3 weeks to review your application, and then we'll reach back out to you to have you either submit a video essay, or we'll give you a decision, or we'll let you know if you're missing anything. So that's kind of the process. It's really pretty quick. As far as the graduate credentials or the graduate certificate requirements, that's even shorter. That only has a resume, a very brief statement of why you're applying for a graduate certificate, just 250 words. We do need the unofficial transcripts for that and the English proficiency. So that's it for the graduate certificate. So no recommendations are required for that. Non-degree application, if you just want to take one course, even simpler. That should take you 5 minutes to fill out. You just need to acknowledge that you have a bachelor's degree, and really anybody can submit a non-degree course or non-degree application and take that course. So really easy process. Again, reach out to us, geeseonline@illinois.edu, and we're happy to help you with any of those questions and help you, navigate that application if needed.
Thank you. So I have a question about the waiver essay for English requirements. So what the waiver essay looks like. So what kind of people are accepted for waiver?
So some people are unable to obtain one of those tests. Now, currently the Duolingo test is online. It's very easy to obtain. You can do it today in the next hour and submit those scores. So you should be able to have an option in order to submit your score if needed. But sometimes people cannot access those. At that time, in one of the short personal statements, you would write an English proficiency essay asking for us to assess your English during interview. Maybe you've worked at an English company, you speak English primarily. There's some exceptions that can be made there. So you can reach out and talk with our admissions team if you have specific questions there, and we can help you. But that is an option to submit that optional essay within your application.
Okay, thank you. So if they have the special situation or some their case, it depends on
Yes. Yeah. Now, one caveat is know that if you do submit a test and you don't meet our minimum requirement, we are required by our graduate college to, if admitted, we would have to have you go through the performance-based admissions track. That is just one note because the graduate college has that is a requirement. We have a certain level for the English, the test scores in order to be admitted as a full status student. So we would work with you and let you know and explain those options, but that is one caveat there to like your specific score that you might obtain on one of those tests.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, that's all for the Q&A session. That's very impressive webinar, and the program is even better than I thought. A very exciting and fantastic program for seek for CPA exam and career advancement. And thank you very much for your time. And could you give us closing remarks for the end of this session?
Yeah. It was really just my pleasure being here. I love meeting with our global learners all over the world that are interested in our credentials. And again, we have students from all over the world in our program. So just because we're a university in the state of Illinois, know that in our programs, you're not going to be alone. We have a lot of international students, and it's just a very comprehensive program. I'm really proud to work here and really enjoy meeting our students from all over the world, but just our accounting credentials are amazing, and you will just be really set up well for your future path. So feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 本当にですね、素晴らしいプログラムでフレキシブルですし、ライブで学べますし、ファカルティもですね、かなりアカデミックにも、実際のビジネスもね、やってきた方たちが、先生方も揃っていますので、ぜひ興味がある方はいつでもご相談いただければ、アドミッションの方におつなぎもできますし、あともうオンラインのマスターのプログラムを受けたい方はですね、アルファの方は皆さんアプリケーションフィーウェイバーもしてくれるということで、10月3日が次のマスターの締め切りなんですけど、その前であっても、マスターではない普通のコースですね、単独のコースは始めることができますし、ぜひ、すぐに CPA の勉強を始めたいという方もそうですし、あと MBA 受けようと思っている方、これはですね、ぜひ MBA の準備をしながら、このイリノイのコースも始めると。そうするとレジュメに書けますので、この人ね、イリノイでもうこういうのやってるんだな、英語で、しかもイリノイのオンラインのコースで学んでるんだなっていうのが、レジュメにも書けると、すごくアピールというかね、きちんともう英語で学んでいて、イングリッシュのディスカッションにもついていけるし、そのためにね、コミットしてるよってことも示せますので、 ぜひそのあたりの戦略もご相談ください。で、アドミッションの方にも、いつでもおつなぎして詳しいお話も聞けますし、アルファでレジュメもエッセイも、あと、上司の方にね、推薦状はいらないんですけど、マスターを受けるときに、方のメールとか書いてもらったり、少しショートクエスチョンがあるとおっしゃっていたので、その会社にどう言えばいいかとかね、上司の方に何と言うかとか、そういうところもサポートしております。で、イリノイはですね、オンラインの MBA とかも素晴らしいプログラムを持っているので、またそれもね、ちょっと一緒にご紹介今度してもらおうかなと思いますが、CPA のこと、受験のこと、MBA のこと、それをどうキャリアに生かすのかっていうのも、ぜひいつでもご相談いただければと思います。あと、IELTS とかね、デュオリンゴを、一応受けないといけないということなので、そのテスト対策もやってますので、全部ね、オールインクルーディットでサポートしているので、いつでもご相談いただければと思います。はい、ということで、ぜひ皆さんもご相談して一緒に、グローバルにね、どんどんキャリアアップしていくサポートしてますし、本当に素晴らしい、今日は説明をしていただいて、またちょっとアルファでもフォローアップしたいと思いますが、引き続きよろしくお願いします。Kate, thank you very much for your time today. It's a very early in the morning. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Have a good weekend. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.